Hey, we're coming to Rouse and Twinsman back here, and we have loads and loads of Easter eggs to show you guys today. Now, I am so excited to be talking about this stuff with you, and what it is, a lot of it right now is going to be about Samantha's room. That's what we're going to talk about this video, at least some of the things that I found that I want to point out first. There's still way more. There's all these ciphers, there's blueprints, there's the screens, there's so much stuff out there that I need to talk about. Many other videos to come. I want to specifically give enough time to each video to develop thoughts. So, without further ado, let's get into what you're seeing on screen right now. And in the title of the video, we're going to get to that. All right, I want to save that for last, so you can skip ahead if you want to get to that. But we need to break down some other stuff in this room that's very important. The first thing, what are we looking on screen right here? What's going on? We have a projector in the room next to Sam's room. Now, we know Edward Richtofen's room, Eddie's room. We don't know which yet. We said just Edward Richtofen. It's hinted that the evil Nazi... Actually, we do know, because the characters say the evil Nazi Richtofen of that, the Richtofen of this world, lives across the hall from Samantha's bedroom. So just across the wall, Richtofen lived there. Weird living that they lived in Griffin Castle. They know together. We have this, development of the project on the moon, but we thought this was behind Max's back, yet Maxis sends Richtofen, origins Richtofen here because of some personal plan they have. So did Maxis know about this? He had to have if Samantha was living here. So we're having some weird continuity issues. We even have a radio in which we hear Groff talking to Richtofen, and Richtofen says he's going to deal with Maxis and the child. And then in the map, when it loads up, it's way after the fact that he dealt with Maxis and the child. Doesn't mean there's continuity errors. It just means because we're altering history, things have changed.
Eagle's Nest, this is Griffin Station. We have an update. Over.
Dr. Groff, have you made any progress?
Yes, Doctor. The machine is ready and awaiting the conduit.
Very good. I will proceed with Operation Shield and join you shortly.
Security Protocol 935.
Yes. I will dispose of Dr. Maxis and that little brat personally. Do not touch anything.
Eagle's Nest, this is Griffin Station. Come in.
This is Eagle's Nest. Over.
Richtofen, is that you? When we didn't hear from you, we feared the worst.
Fear not, Dr. Groff. It is me, Edward. Any reports from the Giants suggesting my demise are erroneous.
Eagle's Nest, this is Griffin Station. We have an update. Over.
Dr. Groff, have you made any progress?
Yeah, Doctor. The machine is ready and awaiting the conduit.
Very good. I will proceed with Operation Shield and join you shortly.
Security Protocol 935.
No, actually. Maxis and his daughter have already been dealt with.
Another German. That is all we need.
I want to keep that in mind. Now, obviously, Reed, get on to it. What is on screen? Take notice of the test subject here has a black sun logo. It says subject deceased. We can't quite make it out, maybe 255 or something like that. But it looks like we have 935 experimenting. Actually, there's something in the corner up top, the red corner. I didn't notice that the first time looking through. But it looks like our test subject here, something is going wrong. This is a keeper that was possibly experimented with. Now, if I can find the Mexican radio, I will put it in. But the Mexican subject died, and that unlocked I wonder what it was. Was it a quote or a radio? If I can find it, I'll put it in. But in general, what it said was, Richtofen's tests on the Mexican subject unlocked the secret that they needed all along for all their research, what they were looking for. So this looks like a remnant of a keeper, or maybe one of the Vrilya, one of the people that they found in the past. They have some kind of test subject material, and we have the black sun on them. Now we could take this a step further, because even though it has the Black Sun logo on them, it could be our original characters. It could be our test subjects from multiple universes, because we see statues of our Origins characters everywhere, or at least the Primus group. Our Origins characters may no longer be the Primus group that we talked about before. If you don't know what that's all about, I'll link a video in the description and in the cards about Primus will fail and all that stuff. But for now, if you do know what that is, you should be scratching your head a little. So now we get into our very next slide here, which is just as interesting. Boom, test subject preparation. We actually have 4 pods with test subjects. Now what's very, very interesting is we can't quite make out the last pod. Maybe that's the Mexican test subject. It seems like he is coming back in some shape, way, or form. But more than likely, it's a Richtofen test subject, which is really startling. So Nazi Richtofen was testing on another version of himself, which we could have gotten that hint back in the servers. That's what kind of blows my mind. We had a Dr. Richtofen, and we had Richtofen, Tank, Nikolai, and Takio, they were all listed in the Dries Dreamland server, if you remember back to Black Ops 1, but there were 2 entries for Dr. Richtofen. This could be how it makes sense that you have Richtofen of this world and then the test subject from another world. It looks so weird. I mean, look at them. It's so different. But what's interesting is that these are all accounted for inside our map to Eisendrache. Why? Let's think about it. You have Dempsey being sent off to the moon, okay? That's one. That's one of these capsules, test subject capsules going to the moon. The other 3... it seems like it's very possible that they are under a tarp, as I'm showing on screen now. It looks like there's 3 pods there, could quite possibly be the test subjects we need to awaken, and it's right next to some crazy 935 volt. I mean, this could be part of the major Easter egg. Obviously, we haven't figured that out yet, but once we figure it out, maybe this will play some kind of role. I mean, we have a golden rod inside the map as well. You see it on the crypt where there's a coffin, you have a knight, and you have all these broken coffins in the background. We actually see the golden rod encryption, just like you would have put it into the MPD over a knight. So what does that mean? I don't know, but it's exciting. This is incredibly important stuff to the storyline. Get on to our next slide. When the next slide comes up, it's gonna be any moment. There we go. Unearthing a keeper, and it's actually redacted up in the top right-hand corner. They crossed out whatever it is that they don't want us to know. Good old Treyarch making us upset, but with this, we had direct interaction with the keepers. The keepers are probably Vilja. It really seems like that's where they're going with this. And if you don't know what the Vilja are, again, I have another theory video. I'll link it in the description in the cards so you can go check it out and get a little lore and history fleshed out there for you. But we have direct contact with Keeper bones, and these Keepers have gigantic statues surrounding the MPD in the basement of Eisendrache. So we have tons of exciting stuff with the Keepers involved. They're really meshing the story together, probably explaining Nova Crawlers in some shape, way, or form. But look at this. Excavation at the site complete. On the moon, we have the MPD being excavated. Now, this means excavated, not created. So we might have 2 MPDs. Fascinating, right? This is very, very intense stuff. We have an MPD on moon, and we have an MPD on Earth. I mean, who knows what this means? We have an original one, and then we have this one. This one clearly sounds like the one Richtofen originally teleports in the original storyline. I listened to the radios back, and he perfectly describes the cave on Moon. He does not describe the cave in Eisendrache or inside Griffin Castle. So, something to keep in mind. By the way, I will continue to pronounce that wrong. I know it's supposed to be like Eisendrache, but whatever, all right? I'm American. Screw me. I'm sorry. Anyway, back onto this. It's very important to see that 935 was working on this, working on excavating it. This was behind the back of Maxis at this point, and then maybe in this universe things changed, but originally this was behind the back of everything. This was a secret operation, and we're getting documentation of them excavating the MPD on Moon. Now, as we're going to move on to our very next slide here, we see Griffin Station being built, which is Phase 1 is what they call it. So all the different phases that go on and stuff like that. We remember Richtofen quote that actually quotes phase whatever going on. So maybe this is the reference of the phases. I don't know if that's a long shot or not. Remember, now on to Step. Remember that quote Richtofen would constantly just kill us with? Yeah, that one. But we see the biodome starting to be created. We see the excavators on the moon. We see lights and all that stuff. Very fascinating, and it's awesome to see how Moon was put together. This map really fleshes out the storyline between the Giant and Moon. All that empty time that we didn't know what was going on, it's really fleshing it out. This is what predates us actually getting to the maps. Finally, we're going to go into Samantha's room. Oh my god, cannot wait to be inside there. But again, I wanted to give you guys one last look at everything in normal speed of all this slideshow, and this is how it loops, so you're not like, is there more? This is exactly what you see, is what we see. We see the astronauts. Oh, it's just so wonderful. Great little Easter egg. But now, thankfully, there we go. We are in Samantha's room, and we see her drawings. Her and Fluffy, her with her butterfly at her house and her dog and all this stuff. All fantastic stuff of grave importance. And here we go. Daddy said there used to be dragons a long time ago. And you see her drawing a picture of her on top of a dragon with her dog. Very important, because that's like, oh my gosh, like that's how we're going to try and rationalize dragons being inside Eisendrache. Like, oh my god, that is a big deal. Sam is having dreams and visions of this. Or it's very possible that later on when we're talking about this, she makes the dragons a reality. Very possibly, but we'll get to that in the last picture. We also want to look to the right. We see inside what looks like to be a forest with all kinds of burnt down stuff. It looks like there's mountains in the background. Look at Sam is sad. It looks like she's drawn herself sad and alone. Either her house is burnt down or she's lost somewhere on the right side. It's really, really crazy. And then on the left side, we have Dr. Groff has a secret. And then there's a safe and a circle and mystery question marks around it. Is that referring to the safe? Are we going to need Groff to talk to us again and reveal to us what's inside the 935 safe? Sam has a lot of important information in this room, and she is just giving us loads and loads of storyline implications. Now we're going to move on to the most important pictures of the entire room. Now, we're going to see actually the lullaby box, which is really cool, of Sam, the Sam from the MPD on a moon. She's a very different looking Sam than the Sam we see at the end of Origins. So which Sams are we dealing with here? But this caught my eye. You see the fluffy thing again, and holy hot damn. What in the name of God is that? We have a keeper coming through a portal or a rip in space-time, coming to Sam, and it looks like he's motioning for her to come with him. Whoa! Whoa! Game changer, all right? Sam is contacted by the Keepers. The Keepers seem to be some versions of the Vril or Vrilya. They are in complete control and the creators of the MPD. They somehow affected the Ancients. They created our magical bows of these immense powers and the staffs. These people contact Sam. They quite possibly kidnap her, and that's why she's trapped in Argatha in Origins. She can have this ultimate power that she has inside Argatha, and that could be why dragons exist, why all the worlds are being ripped to shreds and all the tears are going back and forth. She may have even interacted with her other egos. That's why we see the Sam in the lullaby box. That might have been a version of someone she liked or knew, or a version of herself that her dad created from seeing different universes. I don't know, but the possibilities are endless. Everything is warped now. Everything is definitely put on its side. History is forever changed. Only a fool would change history. Well, you guys did it. So we don't know what new repercussions are going to happen because of this. And the only way we're going to know is if we continue through all the Easter eggs. So there's so much more to cover. I just wanted to tell you guys these first Easter eggs. I mean, look at all the discussion. I didn't expect this to be an 11-minute video. I'll tell you that much. But I can't help it. These things are too exciting to keep back. So there you guys go. I want to talk and bring up some ideas about how important it is to look around and see these Easter eggs. There's a ton more Easter eggs. I know about most of them, but keep sharing them just in case I missed any of them. I'm going to be posting those. I have a bow guide that's going to be coming out in a little bit. I'll be live streaming later tonight. And I also have ciphers. I got to post all the ciphers. So much stuff to do. What a wonderful map. And in case, again, you're still curious about my opinion on the map, I love Eisendrache. It's one of the best maps I've ever played, if not the best. I think it might dethrone Derice for me. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video.